Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. I am at the Bridgetown Comedy Festival in my hotel room doing Dork Forests. That's right. Super fun. Local dork luminaries are coming into my hotel room. Let's do the credits. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio. Good for him. Vilmos fixes my website, JackieCation.com. Mike Rickberg composed and sang the intro song. He sang with his girlfriend, Sarah Cohen. Mike will sing at the end of the show his lyrics to the Mexican Hat Dance. You know that there's merch at JackieCation.com. You can get T-shirts, Ranger of the Dork Forest T-shirts, or just the Dork Forest T-shirts by Portland native Brett Chambers. And they're all union made. They run a little bit big because of that. So plan that in your ordering. And orders include shipping. So it's good times. Anyway, so feel free to order that, T-shirts or CD DVDs and whatnot. You can order some whatnot. You can also get everything, like all of my CDs and DVDs are available streaming. So you can get them on iTunes and Amazon, and you can just listen to them on Spotify and Pandora. Also at JackieCation.com and DorkForest.com, there's a donation button. Feel free to donate to the Dork Forest. If you like the show, I would totally appreciate it if you threw me some cash. I'm kind of interested. These episodes, I think I need a new cord. Anyway, I'm sure I have $20 for a new XLR cord. But the thing is, if you want to throw me some money, that'd be great. I use it only for good things. And $100 a year would be great. $10 a month. I have not made that easy by having a $10 automatic payment out of your debit card or credit card, because I don't like those. So every month, if you think of it, throw me $10 for 10 months, and that's $100, or do whatever in whatever denomination you like. You can also order from Amazon through the Amazon portal at JackieCation.com, and that also supports the show and does not cost you extra at Amazon. Other than that, you can, if you like. You can watch a bunch of videos of me doing stand-up. You can go to my tour page and see all the upcoming tours that I'm going to do, and come and see me do stand-up live or a live Dork Forest. And now, an ad from this month's sponsor. Kind of exciting. And then, the show. Hey, Rangers, this week's sponsor is Gen Con. It's a board game convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. Their slogan is, and this is true, the best 4 days in gaming. This year it's July 30th through August 2nd in Indianapolis, Indiana. The badges are discounted $10 prior to June 14th, and you can get them online at gencon.com, GENCON.com, or via will call, pick up at the door. There's like 16,000 events and 350 gaming companies on site. There's literally something for every gamer. Andy's gone for 2 years in a row. He's going again this year. He'll do play testing. And everybody play tests new games. You can meet people and play old games. You can just meet people. The greatest thing about this convention is that more people weren't standing in line to go to a panel. This is a convention where people are actually playing games, and it's really, really fun. They're expecting a little more than 60,000 gamers this year, making it the largest, longest running game convention in North America. And it's just really fun. It's GENCON.com. I'm going to go. There's going to be a live Dork Forest. It is July 30th through August 2nd. Come and play games, you guys. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I'm still at Bridgetown Comedy Fest, where the crime of the century is that the DoubleClicks are not at the Bridgetown Comedy Festival. Aw, I'm with Angela Weber, one half of the DoubleClicks. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.
Have you addressed that there's a rubber barrel in your room?
I have not addressed the fact that there seems to be a
visual.
bit of a...
I'm going immediately visual.
Is it a Donkey Kong kind of situation?
It's
now
not
that I look
made
at
of wood, though. It looks like a barrel, but looks very, very much like not a barrel.
It is weird... You're right. This is hilarious. It's hard plastic.
Okay. Okay.
Hard plastic. Not good. Not good, but super cozy.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Feet up. No, do it. Make yourself at home. We're in my room, which I had to upgrade because $10 a night. they said. And I was like, I'm worth $10 a night.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
worth $40 to have a bathtub in my room.
Oh, yeah.
I only bathe. I don't know about you. I don't shower. I bathe.
Interesting.
Me and the Japanese as a people. I'm my own people. I only bathe. I like to bathe. It's the only time I slow down.
Oh, sure.
So I like to chill the hell out in a tub. So
Make yourself take longer
and
to take a break.
And because of that, I get a weird barrel and
This
an
is
extra
a
bed.
bathing barrel.
The bathing.
You take the top off. And
I will take a picture of this barrel, and I will put that picture on the internet.
Yeah.
And then it will not be synced up with this show, so people will have to go back in time and look at my feed.
Oh, time hop.
Exactly. Go back in time. So Angela Weber of the Double Clicks.
Yes.
It's at the Double Clicks on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff probably, right? And then thedoubleclicks.com is your main website. YouTube/thedoubleclicks, Bandcamp, or thedoubleclicks.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
And you play the guitar.
Yes.
And the
Ukulele. Yeah.
Okay. All of your stringed instruments?
Yes.
But holding ones, not like the cello, your sister.
No, I stand.
You're the standing stringed instrument lady.
Yeah.
All right. I enjoy your songs.
Thank you so much.
They are
I enjoy your
humorous
comedy.
and educational. Oh, thank you.
We try to educate, try to uplift.
Right. Try not to punch down. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. No, definitely not that.
That seems rude. So I appreciate that you're not doing that. That's I think an excellent choice on your part.
Yeah, we have like the old stuff. We learned about punching down. We had a song that I think is mean about technical writers that I feel that we don't play anymore. That some people are like, I like that song. It's like, I feel like it's mean to technical writers.
Well, Eminem has that same thing about the Closet song with his mom.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's like, I think I might have hit a little too hard on that one.
yeah,
The one about killing his mom.
yeah. No, that sounds.
Is your song about killing technical writers?
It's about killing Eminem's mom.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
And coincidence, bringing it full circle. When I think of hip hop, I think of you guys.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
the real Slim Shady.
It's about technical. I mean, it's fine. It's really about boys that we don't like. Right?
Oh, okay.
But that was.
And they happen to hold those positions.
Yeah.
I was doing a joke about HR people and how much I did not enjoy HR people because many HR people that I've met are not cool.
Yeah.
Guess what? Not all of them.
No, some of them are cool.
Right. So I had a lady go, hey, I do HR, and I could hear the sigh in her voice of, if you could not slam all HR people, that'd be great. And I was like, I will try to figure out, and that joke never really worked anyway, but I think it's a fair enough premise is the fact, but I think that I could figure out a more humane way to speak specifically to the HR person I don't enjoy versus all HR people.
Yeah. That's hard.
It is. It makes the joke harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you can't do jokes regarding technical writers. You have to do a joke specifically about boys that are.
We can't generalize people. It's horrible.
It is
much easier.
It is much easier to just generalize. Thank God. Thank God that. But it is a learned skill, stand-up. All the comedy of the world is that because when you first start, you end up you're a monkey. You throw things at the wall and you do whatever you have to do to get through the time. And then you refine what is really you kind of thing.
Then you try to make it good instead of just quantity.
Right. Right. I don't need just a reaction from you, whether it is positive or negative. I need positive feedback. That would be ideal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that is great. Okay. I kind of want to go for the more, what you said were the more weird dorkdoms.
Yep.
Public documents. What on earth?
You said, dare you
to bore me with the minutia.
Yeah. Well, so I was a reporter. That was my day job that I had, and I worked as the architecture and development reporter for a paper in town.
Okay.
And so my favorite part of my job would be every morning I found an RSS feed that wasn't an official RSS feed on the city website. Because when Google Reader was a thing, you could just sort of put a URL in there and it would try to find an RSS feed. And so I just put the city's development or something URL. And so I would get every time the city updated their website, I would get a notification whether they posted it anywhere or not.
Right. It was just sort of a back door.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So every time there was like a notice of meeting for their like internal stuff, like, by the way, we're having a development review of this building. And
It's Mini Muffin Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been awesome.
Gosh, I wish there were more mini muffins. I mean, sometimes there was like a cute picture of a child in a park, and that was nice too.
Oh, okay.
But because my specific job was basically to find buildings people were mad about, because that's conflict and that's the story.
Right.
So I would go in, and then you find the development document, which they're required to like post on the building, right? You know, like you see notice of public meeting or notice of development. And then it tells you the potential issues. They're like already there. Oh. And so it's like, by the way, this is the wrong density and there's no parking.
Okay.
And then I would be like, yeah, perfect. And find the like neighborhood association and just like go to the
guys,
meetings.
did you know? It's
going to be a problem, everybody.
Yeah. You guys, allow me to be a bit of a stir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious.
It's great.
Yeah. So you were they actual, they were just the notices. So you were you poring over schematics or anything?
Yeah, they have everything attached. So they'll show you the building and then you kind of try to figure out where it is. And there was a lot of like Portland trying to develop areas that weren't developed and like, we want to put a Holiday Inn here or something like that. And then there's always the problem because Portland uses bicycles as a way to get around putting parking in anything. Is this boring? Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay.
It was.
And so.
Not at all.
And so they would, you find the number of parking spaces and know the formula and see. They're calling it a bike-friendly place in order to not have to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that was part of the when they were building whatever, some strip mall or something.
Yeah.
There's not going to be enough parking because they're like, we're Portland.
Yeah.
We're not going to need that parking.
Sure.
We're going to put in a bike rack.
Yeah.
And interesting.
Yeah.
So
a lot of apartments going up in town or like multi-use buildings, and then they'll basically take away the street parking by putting the apartment there, and then not
make it up in any way, shape, or form, even though people will have a car at their house.
Likely. I mean, not good people in Portland.
No,
not
obviously.
true Portlanders.
Exactly. Not someone who's committed to their footprint being the size of a baby's.
Yes.
Even though babies, man, those guys. Think about diaper usage. It's a terrible, wasteful babies. When will they get their shit together? Boom, baby shit joke. I'll be over here. Okay, so.
Yeah. The other fun thing about that stuff was finding the way that the city, the developers would just get around it.
Okay.
So they would be like, well, we want to put, for example, the Hollywood Theater in Portland.
Okay.
Has a really nice marquee, and it's like a historic theater.
Okay.
And they were trying to put an apartment building right next to it that would block that marquee, and people were freaking out about it because they don't want to block it. And it was going to public meetings because it had a density problem. It had like a parking issue.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't have a density problem, if you just like I think they just ended up having to make the building like 18 feet shorter. They didn't have to deal with public meetings anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they had like all of these meetings trying to deal with the neighbors, everybody being mad. And they were like, we could just
shave a foot and a half off of this building, and then we don't have to talk to these people.
And then we could do whatever we want.
And so now is the marquee blocked?
It is. They put like a little bit of a angle on it.
Oh, so they also.
Yeah. So it wasn't like gonna actually make anybody happy, but it was like an effort that made the development
made them look
commission
less monsters. Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I just finished reading a couple of weeks ago, but this book by John Taft called Stewardship, and he describes why none of the bankers were arrested after the crash of 2008 and 2009. And I had never known. I assumed it was because they have all the power.
Right.
And it turns out that they had been in on the lobbying and creating of many of those people knew exactly where the line was of the law. So and what John Taft was saying, he said it was clearly unethical, everything that they were doing. It was not illegal because they had written the law. And so they knew where the law started. And right before the law was where they were all standing.
Yeah.
And he said, so it was a disaster and no one trusts bankers now. And I was like, well, people really never did. But wow, do they not now? You are correct.
That's interesting. But that's not as much of a what's the word I'm looking for?
Not a coincidence?
No, consequence as going to jail. People not trusting you. It doesn't matter.
Right. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. Right. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially the zoning people I think that's a big part of lawyers' jobs to some extent is to look for how close you can get to that line and not be, what's the word I'm looking for? Prosecuted, I believe is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because, you can be persecuted.
Yeah.
People can throw red paint at you.
Yeah.
But it's not, but heaven forfend you kill a dog. Nobody's
Yeah.
killed a dog, by the way. No dogs
Nobody in
have
this
died. Nobody has been, no dogs were hurt in the making of this podcast. So that's for the best.
Yeah.
So public documents. So it's all about zoning and planning and,
Yeah.
And is there more of that? What else?
Well, the other fun thing I would find through this feed was anytime they had to have a meeting about anything. So there was a part where the city was doing a bid. Oh, this is so great.
Oh, that's awesome.
But they were bidding out renovations on one of the public buildings in town, and they have this process that's supposedly
It's supposed to be
quantifiable. So it's not just like we're picking our favorite architect to design.
Oh,
this.
okay.
It was actually to build a new fire station. But they had obviously doctored the numbers to get their favorite guy to win. And so they had to have these meetings, and there were, and like nobody,
Someone noticed that the numbers were a little fudged?
yeah, because they
Okay.
weren't like following, like they were weighing things in ways that they weren't supposed to weigh things. And
Okay.
I got to do a FOIA request. Are you familiar with Freedom of Information Act requests?
Wow.
And then you get all the documents, and they try to scare you away by giving you like 1,000 pages, so you don't have time to sort through them. And then you look through and you do the math, and then they restarted the bidding process and gave it to the people they wanted to anyway, because
it turns out the paper is not, the sword is mightier than the pen.
yeah, it was basically like they had the interview, the guy hadn't scored as well in the interview, but they weighed something else more so that he would win, and then they just did the interviews again and gave him full marks, and so he won.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they wanted what they wanted.
They
then
got a fire station.
they got a fire station. Is it a good looking fire station?
It hasn't been built yet.
Okay.
It's a guy who's never built a fire station before. He was very nice. I met him. We got hot chocolate. But there was
Why?
also, what's that?
Why did you?
I don't know. That was
You
where
got to-
we went.
You got to interview him?
Yeah.
Okay, for the paper.
Yeah.
And then, so you sat down.
We had hot chocolate. Well, it wasn't like his fault. Like, right? It's
Right.
the government. Like, we're like, this is my favorite guy.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean.
Well, I mean, him working the angle of, I want to be your favorite guy. Because why wouldn't he want to be your favorite
Oh,
guy?
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But that's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Last couple episodes ago, I was talking about how, there's plenty of pictures of Hitler playing with children and babies.
Yeah.
Not that the architect is Hitler.
Yeah.
But in this analogy, he is.
Well, sure.
I don't
That's
know.
absolutely true. Have you been to speaking of those, like a communism museum at all?
No. Like over in Europe or
in
something?
Eastern Europe? Yeah. So they have like Stalin and Lenin. They just were like, okay, every artist, by the way, I know there's genocide, whatever.
Right.
Please just paint a picture of me like reading books with kids and playing in parks. And so there are just museums full of like beautiful art
About Stalin.
Of Stalin.
Of Stalin.
Yeah.
Of Joseph Stalin.
Yeah.
Doing things like planting tomatoes.
Sure. Like any picture of Jesus where he's hanging out with kids and teaching them
Right,
the
but in
good
this
word.
case, it's the murderer Stalin.
Yeah.
Yes. And, well, I know that they hid a lot of those videos because they were propaganda videos of Hitler with children and dogs, and they only showed him hiling himself and screaming into the microphone.
Sure.
And never smiling. Or only if he smiled, it was spooky. Mm-hmm. And but they finally released him probably 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, a couple of them, and they were weird.
Oh,
But
yeah.
because they just didn't want to make him human. And so I was raised thinking that he wasn't human. And then you see him petting a dog and I was like, is he going to kill it? And he doesn't. He doesn't kill it. And he doesn't grab the child and rip it in half like a monster. So nothing happens that you think is going to happen in this home footage that is clearly propaganda footage of him being a person.
That's weird.
Clearly a flawed person. Allow the Dork Forest to state openly that I'm against Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
And
No, yeah,
everything
me
he
too.
stood for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Well, let's go quickly
Yeah.
to some video games that you enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, please. Thank you.
All right. What is Hearthstone? I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no.
Oh, big eyes. What is it?
I'm not like the best person at Hearthstone, I just want to say, but it is a big problem in my life right now, which is I have a tendency to get a game and then I literally have to delete it from my life to stop.
There you go. All consuming.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And so Hearthstone it's like Magic the Gathering, but it's only on like your computer or your phone.
Okay.
And have you played Magic the Gathering?
Just the hard I have
real
decks.
one.
Yeah, I have the real
so
one.
In this game, instead of having like mana that you also have cards of, you basically every turn you just get another mana. So you start with 1 and you get 2 and you get 3, and so you can play more cards as it goes.
As you go, because you're saving up energy.
Yeah. So it's basically exactly Magic, except that is the difference. And there's a lot of cool stuff because
so what do you do when you don't have enough mana to play make a spell? To play a card.
Yeah, well, you gotta balance your deck. So it's a deck building game. So you go through and you're like, I want to make an all mechs deck, which is like the robots.
Okay.
And so you'll get
wow. So they have different characters.
There's so many cards. That's what's cool about it being on the internet. I mean, you can pay for more cards, obviously, or you can unlock them. But there's also cards that like you summon a random 2-cost monster and it'll be random of all of Hearthstone, like something you could never do with physical cards.
That you couldn't afford, and there's no way to buy all of the Magic cards in all the world.
No.
And where would you store them? So
exactly.
But Hearthstone is essentially a deck building game, and then are you playing? Is it online? Are you playing against others?
Yeah, it's only online, and so you can play against a computer, but mostly you play random people, and that's funny.
Oh, I did that for backgammon. Okay.
Yeah. And they've tried to like cut down on trolling by you only have 6 things you can say to another person. So there's like greetings, that was a mistake, thank you, well played, and then something else. But people still manage to be dicks with only those things. Like you're supposed to say like, "Oops, I accidentally cast that spell and damaged myself," right? But they'll like when you make a mistake, they're like, "That's a mistake." It makes me so.
Right. But that's funny because that's when I used to play an online backgammon game on AOL in the late 90s, I think it was, or early 2000s, and it was a drop down menu of 5 different things you could say, and you could make it super sarcastic.
Good one.
I sense you are not being sincere because of the drop-down menu.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So is it a free game and then in-game purchasing, or is it like $4 and then in-game purchasing?
Yeah, first one's free.
First one's free, like the potato knish in Welcome Back, Kotter. That is a reference from the 70s. I'll be over here. Okay, so
sounds delicious.
A potato knish.
You can also play with real people, and you get an achievement for playing. If you're sitting in the same room with your friends and playing a game with them online, you get like a cool card back.
Oh, wow.
And so you can show all the people you're playing online, like, by the way, I do have friends. I don't need this, but I'm here anyway.
Right. I am parallel playing in the same room with other people that I know. I know.
Yeah.
So it obviously has some sort of GPS tracker on it so that it can tell if you're in the same. And then they can all tell. And then they can tell, and it's great. And so how long have you been playing that one?
I've only been playing for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I started a Twitch channel just to like justify like I'm networking while I'm playing, or like I get to interact with humans.
What's a Twitch channel?
It's when you're live streaming gaming.
Yeah.
That's like what everybody does now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, to let everyone know that you're on or something?
Yeah, and so it'll have like a camera on my face, and it'll be playing, and I'll be like, to take a candle or whatever.
Oh, okay.
People are saying. It's fun.
It is fun. Is it, how do you set up a Twitch? I don't know what a Twitch is.
It's just twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv, and then you just hook it up to the camera on your dealy bomb.
Yeah, on your computer, so it's all.
It's got to be computer just because it has to have enough memory to run all of it?
Yes. Although the cool thing about Hearthstone, and I think other games do this too, is that if you have friends on there, you can just watch them play in your app whenever they're playing.
Oh, wow.
And you can talk to them. So, like, if my friends are playing, I can go see how they're...
Kind of like you're sitting over their shoulder just going, oh, nice.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fascinating.
Except you're not breathing on their necks. So
right.
It's a little bit better.
I remember back in the old-timey days when I would play video games, and there was always, I used to do a lot of childcare. That was one of my early jobs in LA. And there was a lot of backseat video game playing.
Sure.
Just like, no, go left. And then eventually a child would wrestle from another child the controller.
In the movie Hackers, that's called shoulder surfing.
Shoulder surfing. That is a very nice term. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I called it backseat video game playing, but
that's good too.
shoulder surfing, a little more streamlined.
Like everything in the movie Hackers.
I never saw the movie Hackers.
Oh, no.
What is the movie Hackers?
So it's got Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller.
It's already.
And I've seen it 3 times, and I've gone to a live script reading because I have a friend who is obsessed with that movie, and he makes everybody watch it. And it's got the worst script of all time.
Oh, really?
Kind of, and the costumes are amazing. Like there's a point where Angelina Jolie is just wearing a cricket uniform because she's a hacker and she's cool.
Oh my God! Wait. First of all, let's back up.
Yeah.
Let us talk briefly about the movie Hackers. A movie, by the way, I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Is it about people who hack into, like, the government?
Sure. It's about a group of high school kids who love computers.
And what year is this movie from?
80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was drunk that year, so that's fine. So, and a cricket uniform, what is that?
It's just like she's got like knee pads and
like a bug, like the bug cricket, or is there
she doesn't have like it's just that's a cool outfit to have on at that moment.
At that moment, she was rocking
there's
it.
a lot of like colored leather jackets, and then the guy who played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo live action movie is in it. He playing the same character.
Wow. And he played the same character?
Well, he's like very much like, whoa, man. And all of his hair is like long and in braids for some reason. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. And then, so what is the, what is the plot of this movie Hackers?
Well, there's an evil hacker who pretends that he's gone good by working for this like bank company as like the guy that helps them fight off hackers.
Okay.
And then, Penn Jillette is in it.
Okay.
He's like the guy who watches the server room.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so this evil guy, he like puts a virus into the computer and the kids accidentally find it and then he tries to frame them.
Oh, okay.
For it. And, it's, the plot of it is not like the most, like it's mostly about the lingo.
Right.
For example, you're in the butter zone, baby, is a thing about having a cool computer.
You're in the butter zone.
Baby.
Nope. Baby.
Yeah.
I forgot the diminutive. But I might need to watch it. But because I'm always looking for what is there a love interest?
Oh yeah, Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller. That's the guy I think he is, right? Yeah. Sure,
okay, and they fall in love, or are they in love when the movie starts?
He likes her the whole time,
right?
And if you're in a movie and you like a girl long enough, eventually she goes on a date with you.
Right. Eventually, it should work out.
Yeah.
It's unless and does she eventually just realize that he's the one? Is that how it happens, or is there some huge reveal?
Eventually, he admits to her that she is Leet.
Oh,
and she's like, you just had to say that to begin with, instead of like they have like this hacking duel, you know. And
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
What's Leet?
Oh, because she's elite. She's like a good hacker.
Oh, yeah. So it was essentially he acknowledged her work skills.
Yeah, instead of just that she was the only girl in the movie.
Right. Which, the whole, I went and saw The Avengers a couple of times recently.
I've seen it twice as well.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. And I was on the Comedy Film Nerds podcast doing a spoiler episode.
Oh, wow.
And if you have not seen The Avengers, know in your heart that I'm about to talk about The Avengers at minute 24. So here's a scoop: I was at Comedy Film Nerds. We were talking if it passed the Bechdel test.
No,
and it does not.
No,
but I couldn't remember if it passed the Bechdel test. I was like, I really liked it. Had a lovely time watching it. Have no problem with it. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it again, and I was with that in mind because when we were talking about the Bechdel test, which is where two women in a movie talk,
two named female characters
talk to each other, not about a man in the movie. Mm-hmm. They just have a conversation like people do, like about the mission, about the project, about anything. So we're talking about this on Comedy Film Nerds, and we came up, Chris Mancini and Graham Elwood and myself came up with the missing scene from that Avengers movie, which was at the party when Jane and Pepper come up. They should have cut to them having a conversation.
Yeah.
It would have been it would have passed the test.
Yeah.
And Andy Ashcraft, my fella, was like, and not even at the party. Just a smash cut to them having dinner together, talking about business and science.
Oh, sure. Like Pepper is developing something for
Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been the greatest
That'd be amazing.
Make a one shot, you guys.
Yeah.
Joss, you listening? Are you mad? Don't be mad. Anyway, but it would have been and it was just too bad. And then I watched the movie again with that question in mind, right?
Yeah.
And at no time did any of the women talk to each other.
There is one part, and I saw it happening, and I was like, oh, it's about to, when Nat, can I just, she talks to Hawkeye's wife.
Yep.
And she's like,
Laura.
how's Natasha, the baby, the unborn baby?
Oh, right.
And then they say it's Nathaniel. Like, if they hadn't changed the gender of the baby, it would have passed the Bechdel test.
Oh my God. No.
But that was important to set up stuff. But it was still just like, it's okay.
It was a joke. And, would it have passed the Bechdel test if they were talking about because they were talking about a boy, because he's a boy fetus.
Yeah, if it hadn't been a boy fetus, it would have been.
Oh my God. Wow, the minutia. Welcome to the Dork Forest, guys. Yeah. Well played. All right. So how about now this is an older game, Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That one's been around for a while. I've heard a lot about it.
Oh, have you not played
No, but is it like sort of like The Sims and Farm Country or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like Dollhousey, right? I mean, you're raising animals.
You show up at a town and they're like, you're the only.
I want you to be Clint Eastwood. You just show up at a town.
You have a gun. You have a car.
I can't whistle.
You show up at the town. You're the only person, and everybody else is animals, which is not really addressed or weird in any way. And then they're like, oh, thank God you're the new mayor. And so then you become the mayor of the town. And so you're the only person in the town that does anything. So you have to raise money to do public works projects and like build a fountain. And everybody's demanding things of you. It's like, gosh, I wish there weren't so many weeds in this town. And so you have to go and weed everything.
Okay.
And then you shake trees and pick up the fruit, and then you sell the fruit, and then you use that to buy new furniture for your house or a public works project, and then you like you don't catch fossils, you dig up fossils, put them in the museum.
Oh, and you create a museum.
Yeah.
Nice.
You want to fill up the museum with one of every animal, like every fossil, fish, and insect.
And the animals don't find this slightly inconsiderate to dig up their animal graveyard and then put it in the museum?
No, they never bring it up.
That never does come.
Well, they get happier when the museum is full.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But really what it boils down to as a game is that you get in the boat, you go to the island, you catch bugs, and then you get all the bugs because they're the most expensive thing in the game. And then you go back and sell them, and then you go back to the island.
Oh, so that's the
over
task.
and over and over and over again.
Wow.
All night, and you never sleep.
And you don't sleep because there's no reason to stop.
Exactly. The bugs keep respawning.
Right. They will respawn. So you can continue to get bugs until you die of exhaustion.
Yeah.
There's a game that I've mentioned on this show a lot, Middle Management of Justice.
Yeah.
And it is also a game because it costs, I think, $3. I mean, you can do in-game purchasing, but it's a one-time cost, $3 or $4. I forget what it is. And you manage a superhero team. And there's always another supervillain to fight.
Yeah.
And so I have looked up and 6.5 hours have gone by.
Sure.
And the sun is gone and I am about to miss my gig.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great game because it's actually pretty well written because it's actually funny.
Okay.
It's it's kind of sarcastic and kind of silly, and it hits all the beats, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is Animal Crossing kind of funny? The interaction?
It's really weird. Like it's, everybody's got a weird passive, like they all care very much about what other people think of them. Like all the animals are like, do you think Lola thinks I'm cute? Do you like my hat? Like, it's very, like it's not a healthy relationship. Nobody has, like, and then like everybody's in debt to the raccoon that runs the like home mortgage place. Like you can never pay off your mortgage. You have to keep building a bigger house.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that
that's Ferengi math.
Funny, the girl that you love, like not in game, but I do, is your like assistant.
Okay,
and she's very stressed out and like sad and just really wants you to like her. Like, I don't know if that's funny. That stresses me out a little bit.
Right. That is
I just want everybody to get some self-esteem.
Right, that is not a great self-esteem game.
No.
And now the huge game that you play is Minecraft.
Yes.
Which I have tried to play, and it's one of those games where if I gave it 10 or 11 hours, I'd be in.
Yeah.
I'm unwilling to do that. So tell me about Minecraft.
It's great. I currently have it uninstalled on my computer because I can't. That's exactly like you'll be there for 6 hours and realize, because it has a great, you feel like the part of your brain that's like, I accomplished something, is so triggered by that game because you're like, I'm going to build a house. I built a house.
Wow.
But
How long does it take you to build a house?
Well, it depends. So like if you're playing in survival mode, which is like the real way to play, you have to
there's a couple of ways to play?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Is there a versus mode or something, or?
Probably. I don't know. Like, so it's basically survival or creative mode. So if creative mode, you can fly around, you have all the blocks you want.
Okay.
And you can build anything. In survival mode, there are bad guys. And there are, and
people who wish to thwart the building.
Sure. So there's creepers who explode.
Okay.
And there's zombies who want to kill you.
Okay.
And every time you want anything, you have to go dig it yourself. So you have to like punch down a tree and make an axe, and then you have to dig up some stone and make, a thing.
Oh my God.
And then you have to collect hundreds
oh my God.
of individual blocks and build a house.
Beginning of the game, you walk in. Mm-hmm. Empty world, just one building or a bunch of trees.
It's trees. It's a procedurally generated world, so it's huge. It's infinitely large.
Wow.
And there's different biomes, so you could be like in the woods or on a beach or in the jungle.
You can be, or is it just randomly generated where you start?
It randomly. I think you always start in a forest, but you could be next to it. It could be snowy or whatever.
Okay.
And then you could be in like the desert, and you have lots of sand, which you can turn into glass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever the Settlers of Catan, whatever the project is, the product, you can turn it into the thing that it makes.
Exactly.
Like, do you know how to make brick?
Yeah.
And can you make
out of clay?
You have to dig up the clay, and then you have to make bricks out of the clay.
Mm-hmm. And you make individual bricks, and then you take those and turn them into brick blocks, which you can use to build a house. So yeah, it's all about crafting.
Okay.
And mining.
So, Minecraft. And, and it's all pixels. It's pixelated.
It's 3D, but it's just blocks.
So, survival mode, you're building, but you're also fighting or running.
Yes. Yeah. So at night, the monsters come out. So you need to have a house by the first night or you're going to be killed.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And how long does it take to build that first house? Can you make a simple, it's obviously level 1, so
if you can find like trees and dirt, and the tricky one is coal, because you need a lantern, because the monsters will spawn anywhere that it's dark. So you need to have
need to dig up some coal pretty quick.
Yeah.
And but you also need to, the trees will create an axe?
Yeah.
And then what else do you need? What was the other thing that?
Your tree, you'll punch down a tree, you get the sticks.
Okay.
And then you'll build a crafting bench, and then you use that to make a pick. And you need a pick to dig out coal,
stuff.
Yeah.
The coal.
And rock.
Okay.
And that's it for your first day.
That's it. How long is the day cycle in Minecraft? It isn't real time?
No, it's like 15 minutes day and 10 minutes night or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have 15 minutes to build yourself some shelter.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 10 minutes later, you are dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's pretty great, actually.
And then it just keeps going. So like once you have that, then you go underground. Basically, you get your pick, and then you're looking for diamonds to make a really sharp pick that you can use all the time.
Okay.
You're looking for gold, because if you have gold and redstone, you can make like electronics. So you can make carts that you can like ride around and make a little train.
Okay.
My boyfriend reads up on stuff, and we got really into creating like, you need food. You get hungry.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So you have to kill pigs and stuff. And so you can create systems like exploiting the mechanics of the game such that that pigs are going to be here.
Yeah.
And then you drive them all towards a waterfall that you build, and they will go down the waterfall. They will die while they're going down, and the bottom will just be ham steaks that you can eat. And so then you have like infinite ham steaks.
So is that you gaming the system?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a big part of Minecraft.
Is to figure out how to shortcut it.
Yeah. People will build like things up in the sky where where you can spawn a bunch of monsters, because monsters have drops that are like bones, which you can use to grow things, and
Okay.
you can make arrows out of the arrows that skeletons
Okay.
have. And so they will have a place with like water, so basically all of the animals will drown, and then you'll get all their stuff. It's a great game.
Sounds super dark.
Yeah,
And
it's-
amazing to me that like everyone I know who's into it is somewhere between the ages of 7 and of course 50.
Yeah.
But the
Kids love it. It's
Kids-
the best.
it is mesmerizing to children.
Yeah.
It is weird because of how, I mean, I suppose there's that sense of accomplishment in doing it. There is, and can you switch? Can you toggle between creative and survival?
Yeah.
So you could build a bunch of stuff.
You can build like a fortress.
You could build a fortress and then go back to survival mode. And you're like, look what I built. Oh, you can't get me. And, which is a total kid move to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And so where do you get that sword that I see for sale at Target?
You have, a sword recipe is 1 stick and then 3 either diamonds or, wood or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the diamond one will last longer.
Yeah.
The wood one will do what it can.
Yeah. It'll try. It won't hit as hard.
But it's real time. It's like, Andy mentioned it on a previous episode where the disintegration of things, not real time, but in game.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden your shoes are worn out.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough rope to get there. So it's more like that.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of
you
feel
run
to
out
it.
of stuff.
Interesting. So if you don't, how long can you last without food?
You die. Well, if you get injured, and this has changed a little bit, but if you get injured, food will help you get better.
Okay.
But if you get injured and you don't have food, and then you get hungry, you'll keep
Right, you'll
acquiring
get-
pain, and then you'll eventually die.
You'll get
I
worse
don't know
faster.
how fast it happens, but it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you have a few days. Like you're done.
So have you restarted the game several times?
Yeah, I don't. People play hardcore mode where like if you die, you die.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but you do have to. Problem is, if you die, you have to go find your body and get all your stuff back in a certain amount of time, where it disappears. So if you die in in a cave somewhere, and there are still monsters there, like you can't get back because you don't have a sword anymore.
Right.
to fight
Right.
them.
Yeah, you have to just lead that body down there.
Yeah.
A very Ender's Game. All right.
Exactly.
And you're like, all right, I'm going back to the giant. I'm going to
Yeah.
go back through his body. And then, that's crazy.
It's a really good way to spend a lot of time.
A lot of time. And is there in-game purchasing in that? Is that one free?
Really? It was in beta for a long time, and then I think it's like $10, and that's,
Okay.
I don't
It's
know.
a one-time $10 charge, kind of?
I don't know what you would spend money on necessarily.
Right. Not
on it.
because of creative
Yeah.
level,
I mean,
and you
people
can
make-
toggle.
People make mods for it, so like I think you can pay money, maybe not legally, for somebody like I have a Wonder Woman skin, so my character looks like Wonder Woman.
Did you make that?
No, I got it online.
you just
I don't know if I bought it or if it was free. But
And
yeah.
your avatar looks like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And so someone wrote a program
Yeah.
so that you could that integrates with Minecraft so that your person can look like something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what does your person look like?
It's just sort of a dude.
Okay,
with a
just-
blue shirt and green pants.
But
and-
boxy and pixelated as well?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then now what kind of mods? Like they make other worlds or they make
Yeah, you can make the bricks look like other stuff. So like the grass will like either be cooler or be like it'll look like Lego. People do things like where the whole world looks like Lego, which makes a lot of sense.
it does make sense.
And I had one that made it all look like a Greek or like ancient Roman city. So you can make villages, and like NPC villagers will spawn, which is really fun. And so then they were all
Non-playing character.
wearing togas, and there was like the Cyclops was like one of the big iron golems was the Cyclops, and
So even the monsters
cool.
become themed?
yeah,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
it's really neat.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because there are children who wish to be on the Dork Forest. Mm-hmm. But the thing is if I were to ask young Bernard, it might work.
Yeah.
He might be able to explain as lucidly as you have.
Yeah.
But he might just be like, you do a thing and then this other, and you're like, okay, I'm going to need all your words. And you're 11. So,
We
so
have
it'll be a bit.
kids come to our shows, and that's basically what I ask them, if it's like, I want to have a conversation with you, do you play Minecraft? What do you do?
Yeah.
And so like a 7-year-old girl will just be like, oh man, I have a pack of dogs, and then we hang out.
Oh my God.
Cause you can tame,
you can make animals?
you can tame dogs or
Okay.
horses.
Wow.
So you can ride them. It's amazing. And there was, I went to my friend's
that's
house
super fun.
and her kids were both there, a little girl and boy, and they were doing genetic experiments.
Wow.
So if you like, there's a way that if you raise a cow near mushrooms, it becomes a mushroom. So then if you shave it, you get mushrooms off of it. There's so
It's
much
some sort
in
of
that
weird
game.
glitch in that game.
Yeah.
And you can totally make it your own. which
Yeah,
is-
there's so much going on.
wow.
Yeah.
No wonder everybody loves this damn thing. I mean, it's so much better than Angry Birds, which was
Yeah.
successful for no reason as far as I could tell.
Exactly.
One of Andy's biggest problems with Angry Birds is that the physics were never going to work. He's like, it's all just lucky hats and lucky bats. It's never, you're going to knock down the thing or you're not going to knock down the thing. And there's no way to get because the physics on the pinch screen is never the physics of the world. That's amazing. I'm playing, Simpsons Tapped Out, which people have been playing for 1,000 generations. It's a Farmville-y kind of dollhouse thing.
Yeah.
Homer blows up the town, so you have to rebuild the town.
Sure.
I just got in my free mystery box the tire fire. It's just a pile of tires that are on fire.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
And
great.
you get to go put that somewhere.
I get to put that over in the corner. I put it right by Monsarno, my Monsarno corporation, which has been spawning mutant vegetables in the into town, and you have to blow them up.
Sure.
Dr. Frank has created something to destroy them in mass. Mm-hmm. So
Is that like a DLC based game? Like a paid? Sorry, that's like you buy things in there.
Yeah, it is free game.
Yeah.
Free, and then in-game purchases. Almost accidentally bought some donuts. The donuts are the things that you can get interesting things. And I am at this point hoarding donuts.
Yeah.
My niece and nephew played it when I first got it, used all of my initial donuts. Oh. And then I was like, I would like more donuts. And so I've been playing it because Cletus's farm came up early in the game.
Yeah.
And so one of the things you could make Cletus do was plant corn, actual corn, which takes 90 days to come to fruition, but gives you $45,000. And so I planted it. I just harvested that corn about a week ago, which means that I have been playing that game for a little over 3 months. And, I was like, I don't think I'm going to plant corn again because then I'll know exactly how long.
Yeah.
But there's part of me that kind of wants to plant corn and then know that I've been playing it for years.
That's
But
great.
Dr. Hibbert. Oh, I just got Ralphie Wiggum.
Yeah.
I built the Wiggum house, and Ralphie Wiggum was playing puppy something where he ran in a circle for 12 hours.
Sure.
And he was like, I had a crayon sandwich. Or he's just Ralphie Wiggum. And
How big is the town?
the town is, I've gone, because you can go to other people's towns.
Oh.
You build crusty land. And cause you build the town and the town is ever expanding.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you can take the Krusty shuttle and build Krusty Land. Then we're also, because it's Springfield, right on the ocean. Right on the ocean. So I built a boardwalk and I put a lemonade stand on it.
Yeah.
And it's very much playing house, and it's
Yeah.
it's very fun though. And then you can go to other people's towns and Bart can spray paint the dome of the school or stuff. You can graffiti things
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
That's fun.
Sideshow Bob showed up, and Sideshow Bob, hilarious. But it's essentially Farmville but ruder.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing that, and I continue to play a game called Criminal Case, where made by 23-year-olds in Paris. I looked up the team, the development team. They're in Paris.
That's awesome.
That has to be a small team because it's set in America. You are solving crimes. It's a hidden object thing. Mm-hmm. You're solving crimes with the dumbest clues. The killer wore red. He likes sunscreen and he eats sushi. Oh my God, it was Mrs. Wan. And so
These things that you obviously know about the killer somehow.
you obviously know about the killer he flosses a lot. and there's 6 clues and you do it. And, but I finished the first arc of the game and now I'm in the second arc of the game. And the first arc of the game, it's set in America, and it's in America that clearly the entire development team knows from television and movies.
Oh, great.
So it is both racially and sexually inappropriate.
Oh, no.
Just one after. I am currently in something that they have called, euphemistically, the inner city.
Oh, no.
And you're like, guys, what's going to happen? And I'm just tapping it very gingerly. Oh, don't talk to the Chinese lady. What's going to happen? There's a Russian-Chinese war that's happening, among immigrants. And it's this speculative fiction about what immigration is like in the United States. And I'm like, not accurate, gentlemen, but I'm in. I want to find the broom and the victim's body, and it's all going to work out.
Yeah, give me something to click on. That's awesome.
That's it. Double clicks.
Yeah, hey.
Look at that. It's at the Double Clicks on Twitter and Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just / the Double Clicks on everything else, right?
Exactly.
YouTube, thedoubleclicks.bandcamp. And then, and I'm talking with Angela Weber, just so we check in and everyone knows that. Mm-hmm. So you and your sister, clearly nerds of a great order.
Yeah.
And so you said, I want to do, tell probably for the first time ever why you came up with the name.
The Double Clicks it's not a significant name. We were looking for a band name. So for a while we were Angela and Aubrey Weber version 1.0. And then we were Aubrey and the New Queen of Nerd Rock, which I kind of like. And then we were the Narcissisters. But then we were like, it should be something too and nerdy, and so we don't have to explain those things. And I feel like Double Clicks gets it across.
Oh, totally gets it.
We think our cousin came up with it, but she doesn't remember doing that.
Oh, she denies it. All right, well then good. She doesn't get any back end.
Yeah.
And now this will go up probably. Well, I'm hoping to put out a lot of extra episodes because this month's sponsor is Gen Con.
Oh, hey.
And Gen Con is sponsoring the Dork Forest Gen Con, the best 4 days in gaming. And
great place.
It is a great place. It's a fun board game convention in Indianapolis. Ran into you guys last year there.
Yes.
And
we surprised you in a hotel.
And you surprised me at a weird...
Oh, my God.
In Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Andy was there... substitute teaching or filling in for guest lecturing at UC Santa Cruz for game design.
Uh-huh.
And we went to dinner.
Yeah.
And on the door was a poster, the Double Clicks. And I said, these are the Double Clicks. I told you about them when we walked in, and there was Joseph Scrimshaw standing there, and you guys were weeding up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it was weird. What was the name of that?
Nerd Night Out. Oh, the Crepe Place.
Oh, it was a crepe place. That's right.
It's just called the Crepe Place.
And we had crepes for dinner.
They're
weirdly
great.
enough. They were excellent. They were excellent crepes. And you let me do a guest set. Thank you very much.
You were kind enough to do a set. It was great. That was so strange.
And random.
Yeah.
And I think Brian Tatosky was the one.
Oh, yes.
Was the one who was like, you guys would like each other. Mm-hmm. And it's finally
like
happening,
20 years
Brian.
Ago.
Exactly. It was at least 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, and Andy went to college with Brian Tatosky.
Yeah. That's great.
So they've known each other for some time. The world is very small for 7 billion people, you guys.
Yeah.
Get out there, meet other rangers, do what you need to do. Learn the ins and outs of it all. Mm-hmm. So are you so I usually ask people what they're reading.
Yeah.
You reading anything fun?
I am reading a book right now. Oh gosh, I shouldn't tell you about it because I don't know the name. It was just on my Kindle somehow.
Oh,
and
weird.
I was at home and I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I'm reading it. But I've been reading Jasper Fforde.
Ford?
Do you know him?
I do know him, and
Yeah.
he's allowed that extra F because he is Welsh.
Yes.
It is not an affectation.
Yeah. His books are so good.
They're really good. They're better than they have any right to be, quite honestly, because they're goofy.
Yeah.
They're all nursery rhyme characters.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
But which one are you?
I've read all of them now.
Oh,
I loved
have you?
the Last Dragon Slayer series, which is about a girl, Jennifer Strange, who is basically like the competent person in charge of a house of a place of wizards.
Okay.
Like the last remaining wizards. And she's like 12 or something.
Okay.
And she's great. I mean, it's like a competent lady trying to get stuff done. So
Trying to get some competent 12-year-old
relate.
girl. Yeah, that's it.
and then the Thursday Next series, which is a book
Right.
about books, which it should not be good. Like it's very
super derivative, and you're like, you're a snake eating its own leg, and yet it's fascinating.
great.
What was do you remember the book where it was like a Rocky Horror Picture Show like experience where they would go and see a Shakespeare play and they put it on every night in the audience? This is the winter of my discontent, and that's Richard III, I think. Every night there was a production of Richard III, and the audience, or once a week or something, and the audience would go, and it would call in response.
Yeah.
The audience would yell, what is it? What winter is this? And then the play would begin when they said, this is the winter of my discontent. I forget which one that was. And then I read the Humpty Dumpty one where Humpty Dumpty was killed.
Yeah.
So those are the two that I've read of Jasper Fforde.
He also has a great one called Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Which is only one in a series, but it's
it's a one-off?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's going to be more, but
Right.
it's my favorite one, obviously, because there's no more.
Right.
But it's a dystopian future thing where everyone can only see like one color. And it's have you read
The Giver?
Yeah, sort of. So, yeah, so it's like a YA thing with like Insurgent or like all of those.
Dystopian future.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Oh, right. Which The Giver was not.
Yeah.
The Giver was okay, but it was like, I was like, I see what's happening.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot of dystopian because that's what every young female protagonist is these days. But it's not YA. It's not trying to be YA.
Okay.
So it's really great.
Shades of Grey, and it isn't 50 of anything.
No, yeah,
And
I think that may have been the problem.
That might have been the problem.
Yeah.
And, my father has always said about dystopian, and he has not always said this. He said it once. He doesn't even remember saying it, because I was telling him about some book I was reading about the dystopian future, and he goes, dystopian, look around. We're in a dystopian present.
Yeah.
You know what the future's going to be like? Just like it is now. Your car's going to be 10 years old. You're going to be fine. And I was like, wow. Well, hey, Captain Cheerful.
Yeah. Well, have you read Handmaid's Tale?
Accidentally 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the most depressing book in the world. I used to do a joke about Sarah Palin. She would be the president of the future in The Handmaid's Tale. And I did that as a Twitter joke. And Margaret Atwood tweeted at me.
Oh, wow.
How crazy is that? And said it was a little dark. And I tweeted back and I said, I don't think you get to say that. You wrote the book. Yeah. It's so cool. She was, and
oh my God.
I talked to her, 2 tweets. That wasn't really talking to her.
Yeah.
But I felt like I talked to her, and I was like, that's a national treasure right there. Canadian, but national treasure. She's amazing. I would never read another book. It was like I read Prayer for Owen Meany.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
I still have dreams. I still have nightmares about a Prayer for Owen Meany.
Yeah.
Because
it
was
Handmaid's Tale you think about every day.
Almost every day I think about the Handmaid's Tale.
It's like, no,
I don't want to live in, why is everyone, Texas, calm down. It's not that, there's a lot of people on the planet, you shouldn't care. Oh, okay, you care. Can't you just care about your own? No? Okay. You got to care about everybody? And there's no way to undo it. There's no way to undo. Some books are in your brain and affect you every day.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like they sort of bring the world to life. Mm-hmm. I have this theory that some of the great authors, like some stories are real in a parallel universe.
Sure.
Because nobody's that smart.
Yeah.
Essentially, somebody dreamed the world of Tolkien had a connection.
Yeah.
And that's how he was able to create that total world and recreate it.
Yeah.
And to some extent, J.K. Rowling.
Oh, sure.
And which I love. I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I know it isn't as well written as Tolkien, but she wasn't a philologist either. So whatever.
Yeah, she's great.
She was just a nice lady and a good writer and super fun.
That's great.
So I'm in.
Yeah, she's amazing. I complained on the internet the other day that not all male authors tend to write women who all sound the same and men that all look the same. Because I've been noticing in sci-fi that like women get like a page-long description of how attractive they are.
Yeah.
And men are just like, he was gruff, right? And somebody replied, and their counterexample was Harry Potter, which was written by a woman.
Right.
And it was just, he's like, well, Harry Potter's descriptive. And it's like, yeah.
That's a woman. That's a woman writing that.
That's what anyway.
My favorite, Louis L'Amour versus Zane Grey. I could talk about it, you guys.
What is that?
Louis L'Amour and Zane Grey both wrote Western novels. And Zane Grey only wrote, if you've ever read a Zane Grey, he describes the landscape. He describes the land forever. Forever with the light playing on the rocks and the mud caked milkweed and and then Louis L'Amour does some of that, but he also has Like, and all of Zane Grey's characters are like 3 sentences of, and then he shot him. And Louis L'Amour.
He was dark. He had a hat.
He had a hat. It covered his eyes. And, but Louis L'Amour, you know, he had a hat that covered his eyes and he shot him.
Yeah.
But he was also a dude who had a childhood and a life. And you're like, oh, well, that's neat. And I would like to actually reread, and the Louis L'Amour novels are all almost exactly 180 to 220 pages long. So they are what I like to call a quick read.
Yeah.
And, but there's usually a woman because the lone guy comes to town and he's there to help.
Yeah.
And so he meets a nice lady, and then it's a little bit of a romance novel, the Louis L'Amour novels. I mean, when you meet a 60-year-old Vietnam vet who's like, yeah, I only read Louis L'Amour novels. I was like, really? Have you ever tried any, Nora Roberts? She's amazing. Same diff, and they will not be abused.
Yeah.
But actually that's not true. The one guy I did try that on was like, I see what you're saying. So he was a pretty good sport about it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's true of Louis L'Amour.
Yeah. Probably.
Probably. Oh, it could be because all of his characters are just better drawn than they not need to be, but are often the case of Westerns. And so, but I bet you the descriptions of women are longer because of their clothes or because of some damn thing.
Because they have to say exactly how much you want to have sex with them, regardless of whether that's relevant. I don't know.
Right.
When I started noticing that,
it began
ruined,
to, yeah,
everything.
that will color.
Fine, but it's,
That will color when you're trying to read a book and you're like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
You just got to turn off the feminist brain to enjoy it.
Yeah. And just sort of let it wash over you a little bit. There was, I was reading some romance novel a couple of months ago, and the author, sometimes in romance novels, they have a message. They all do. They all have some, whether it is a right wing or a left wing message.
Oh, interesting.
There's always this sort of, well, you should probably get your shit together, or be nice to people, or help the poor, or do something. And this woman, she was writing about, essentially the protagonist was a heavier woman. And so she would get made fun of at the balls. Oh, no. And you're like, I'm trying to read a book here.
Yeah.
And it was fine in the end, because, you know, it's a romance novel.
Yeah,
It turns out she's going to meet a guy who likes it.
Yeah.
And it all worked out. So, and he was super handsome. And,
thank God. Thank God for that.
Thank God he was handsome.
That's great.
I am dorking out myself on this type of thing.
Yeah.
So is there anything you're watching? Oh wait, do you think the Kickstarter will be happening in the next couple of,
It's ending on June
okay.
5th or something like that.
Okay. So
2nd.
This should still be going, and it's the new album.
It's the new album. It's called President Snakes.
President Snakes? All right. Throw down.
Yeah.
And then you guys will be at Gen Con.
Yes.
And then do you have dates at thedoubleklicks.com?
Yes.
Your tours are all on there?
Tours everything.
That's it. And then, and Bandcamp, can people listen to the song and then
you can
buy
listen
it?
to everything we've done for free on Bandcamp or YouTube. And then buy it on iTunes or Spotify or whatever.
Or do whatever you do when you buy stuff.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I put up a Bandcamp thing, just a couple of stories, cause I'm supposed to figure out how to use Bandcamp. And so far, I don't know what I'm doing. But
so is your albums or just sort of?
There was a 15-minute story and then a 7-minute story.
Okay.
And so I don't have them set up with a preview. I'm like, you have $1. Just give me a fucking $1 and listen to the story and you'll enjoy it. And so it has come to pass.
Yeah.
It's only been up for a couple of days. People have given me ones and ones of dollars. It's all worked out.
Great.
But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out Bandcamp. But so, hey everybody, go see the Double Clicks. And, Angela Weber, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening, Rangers. Take care out there.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?